the reigning Sprint Cup champion. First driver in 6 years not named Johnson.
Whoa, there he goes.
Oh, boy.
There we go.
5 cars are in it.
Maybe more. Not
heavy damage to both Penske cars,
Bam.
to Tony Stewart.
What did Tony say this morning? He wasn't going to push Ryan?
That's right. Because every time he does, bad things happen.
Problem.
Yeah, both of the Penske drivers, there you see Brad Keselowski in the 2. We just saw A.J. Allmendinger, the 22. Both of those drivers were involved, and there's our current champion, Tony Stewart.
Also damaged there's Martin Truex backing up to the garage. Also damaged to the 51 of Kurt Busch. Let's see where this gets started. There's Tony.
Runs up behind the Kurt Busch in the 51 car here, and he gets a run on him. He's coming, he's coming, he's coming. He starts to go by, and then he thinks better of it. But as you can see, once he goes to the right side of that 51 car, Kurt Busch's car, it just pushes it around.
Yeah, Kurt Busch had to move up.
Yeah, they were trying to get up and around Truex, but goodness.
In the minute Kurt Busch moved up, that put Tony pushing him on that left rear quarter panel.
Yep.
Thanks to DirecTV for the aerial views. Now they're fine right here.
Just get them moving around a little bit too much right here. You see he's kind of going back and forth. He was going into the left, and then he moved over to the right. And when you get right there, there he goes. Bam.
Well, Kyle Busch, 18, got a ton of damage.
Pretty big hit.
What's Jeff Gordon slip to here?
I think Keselowski got the worst of it because he's going to come down and then come back up into Allmendinger.
The 2 Joe Gibbs drivers, Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, they just stopped.
Steve Burns.
Mike, I was listening to Tony Stewart on the radio when that unfolded, and when it ended, he very quietly said, "Sorry, guys, that was my fault."
Well, I believe he needs to look at a replay because Tony held his line. It's just when Kurt moved up, Darrell, to try to go around Truex, it put him pushing on that left rear.
There's so many accidents like this that happen that you feel like it's your fault. When you see the replay of it, you say, well, I really was put in a box. I had nowhere to go, nothing I could do. And that's sort of one of them.
Now, watch the 56 here, okay, and see how he plays into this.
Well,
because they come up on him fast.
Yeah, he sees them coming, and Kurt's going to go around him on the outside, and when he moves up the hill, Tony's on that left side, left corner, and it'll turn these cars around every time.
At the worst place, turning off into the corner.
Now let's look back for Martin Truex's car.
It just snaps. I mean, just turned that car right around.
Here's Carl Edwards' view. We'll get to that in a moment. But damage to Keselowski, Stewart, Allmendinger, Kyle Busch, and Kurt Busch.
Eating a lot quicker with the rule package that we have right now.
And they don't just start.
Trouble turn 2.
No.
5, 6 cars in it. And more. The dreaded consequence of pack racing is the big one.
Yep.
Paul Menard, the 11 of Denny Hamlin.
I can't even tell whose car that is.
That's actually David Reagan in the 34.
And Michael Waltrip will not go to victory lane tonight.
No.
First caution of the night, mid-pack between turns 1 and 2. From the blimp. Let's see what happens. Murray in the one coming up, and Reagan gets in the back of Menard.
Yeah, that's what happened. He got down on that left side and pushed him right around. You just cannot touch a guy on the left rear corner or you're going to wreck him.
Montoya and Gordon get away. Kenseth's involved. The 55 of Michael Waltrip, heavy damage. Tony Stewart in the 14 scoots through. Here's another look. Watch the inside lane. The 34 and 27 is the first contact.
Yeah, the 27 of Menard, he needed a break right there. But David Reagan was all over him, and when Menard went up the hill just a little bit, Reagan was on that left corner and turned him around.
Damage to Casey Kane in the 5 as well as Hamlin in the 11.
Tony Stewart slipping right through that mess on the bottom there, and here comes Jimmy Johnson slipping along.
Now on this next replay, watch the 24 of Jeff Gordon come into view here along with the 17 of Kenseth. Little bump. Kenseth contact with Burton. He is sideways. He's in it. And Gordon, bump, and by.
I have seen Jeff Gordon do that so many times, and that's just experience and keeping your cool and driving through it and not trying to avoid it.
It's right along inside the Farmers Insurance car.
Check up. Get low if you can.
Oh, man.
Got up into the wall, Kenny. Got the right front corner.
Big bump for Casey Kane. And now, this is Michael Waltrip's view looking over at Denny Hamlin.
Roll right up there. We're going to be right into
it. Not so pretty pictures from our new Fox side view cam on Michael's car. Jimmy Johnson, 48.
Johnson does a nice job, just like his teammate Jeff Gordon. Finds a little hole, finds a little place to go, and slips right through. Even with these cars, know you're going to come down the hill, but he makes it by.
One more look, super slow-mo. We've completed 10 of 75 laps. Big pileup between turns 1 and 2 in the Budweiser shootout. 15 to go in this first 25 lap segment. Caution on the words in tow, then Clint Boyer. Whoa, Boyer around off the bumper of Martin Truex, and he's going for a ride.
I think he's all right. He's out through the grass.
Caution on the speedway.
See a little steam coming out of that thing too, Larry.
Boyer tried to change lanes and peek out, but Truex was right up against his bumper. Two teammates of Michael Waltrip Racing, and we'll have a look here.
You know what happened to Boyer down here testing, don't you?
That is Martin Truex. The 15 is Boyer. Catching Edwards.
There he goes to that left side.
Ooh.
And Darrell, no one knows this better than you. That was through the tri-oval. The tri-oval can be one of the most treacherous places on this racetrack.
The car is freer and looser right there than anywhere on the track because you don't have the banking. You're going 200 miles an hour, but you have not very much banking.
Well, let me ask Michael Waltrip, who owns both those cars. Michael, the drivers are not allowed to be in radio contact with each other. How could Martin Truex know that Boyer was trying to change lanes to get around Edwards?
There's no way he could have known, Mike. Just like last night, Tony Stewart had no idea Kurt Busch was going to go up the hill to pass that slower car. Kurt moved up, Tony spun him out. That wreck is no one's fault. There's no way Martin knew what Clint was thinking, and Clint was like, I got to run, I got to go. Come on, Martin, follow me. Martin just couldn't react as fast as Clint did because he didn't know what.
Front 10 with 21 laps. Trouble turn 2.
Dale Jr. is there. I see him. See the 29 car.
Kenseth in the
17.
Truex is in it.
That's a bunch of torn up cars right there.
Logano. Oh boy. That is Martin Truex. Dale Jr. Kevin Harvick. Matt Kenseth.
That's his second wreck of the night.
Harv's car is killed. Uh-oh. You better shut that baby off.
No, tail light, you're on fire, Kevin.
Yeah, get out of that thing, man.
Yeah, turn left to the fire truck here.
He's trying to get to the fire truck.
Yeah, that's not something to play with right there.
Stop stop. There's a fire truck there. Stop. Stop. There's a fire truck there.
Take a look. Logano is up on the outside of Jimmy Johnson there in the 48. He gets a little bit loose, and then it looks like Marcos gets into the 9 car. Marcos gets into the back of him, and it's on.
And when Logano got a little loose and lost that momentum, might that have carried Martin Truex into the back end of Ambrose and created one of those accordion-like collisions?
Remember how we said maybe in our practice show, maybe when this race started, with the 2-car tandem, we'd probably have a lot of little wrecks. But with this kind of racing, we're going to have a lot of big wrecks.
There's the contact that sent Logano around from Ambrose. And by now, Truex is fully up the back of Marcus Ambrose bumper.
And so far, every wreck we've had has been from a driver pushing another driver right in that left rear quarter panel.
Dale Jr. tried to miss it, couldn't. Kevin Harvick couldn't. And Matt Kenseth gets turned and goes hard into the wall.
I guess, Larry, that'll be the next project for NASCAR. Find out how we stop these cars from spinning out when they get pushed on the left-hand side.
That's definitely 4 to 5 drivers that I think had race cars given the right position could have won this thing tonight.
I guess being in that second pack wasn't such a bad thing.
Now let's ride with Martin Truex. Darrell, from that angle, it looked as if Ambrose had Logano a little bit sideways before Truex got to the back of Ambrose.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Ambrose gets into the back of the 20 car of Logano. I think Logano got a little bit. The back of his car started to wiggle a little bit, and he got into him.
Dale Jr., car all torn up.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know what happened there. I don't think it's your fault, bud. They were all wrecking. That's fine. All right, let's get that one ready to load up. Hopefully we learned a lot. We got a good car. We'll work on it for the rest of the week here.
Steve, look
at that. Jeff's going to move him up out of the groove and get by him.
Whoa, Busch is around. Can he save it this time?
Oh, there you go.
He does. He saves it. But there's a
Jeff Gordon's upside down. Jeff Gordon's upside down.
And Kurt Busch's car is destroyed.
Oh my gosh. Jimmy Johnson's car destroyed.
Track crew quickly on the scene to aid Jeff Gordon. On the radio, he has told his team he is okay.
Yeah, I see him. I think I can see him moving.
A wild ride for Jeff Gordon as he tries to win the Bud Shootout, just a lap and a half from the flag. Teammate Jimmy Johnson's car damaged. Several cars to the garage already. Kyle Busch to pit road.
Jeff trying to get the 18 car Kyle Busch up out of the way.
Pushing on that left side again.
Yeah, he's just working on him, Michael. Kyle was blocking, and Jeff was trying to get him loose and get him up out of the way, and he just got on the left side and spun him out.
Look at the job Ambrose and Boyer did coming through there. And there's our buddy old Brad Keselowski. We ain't seen him up front all night. He's fixing to restart with a chance to win this baby.
Yeah, I asked Larry, I said, is Brad Keselowski in this race?
Well, yeah. Jeff Gordon's car went about 1,000 feet on the driver's door before it barrel rolled to a stop.
Yeah, Brad Keselowski in that too. He's in that backup car.
You see Jeff down there. He just gets down on his left corner, and we've seen that time and time and time again.
You got to stay off the left side. What do we do about that, though, man? How do we fix it? The drivers just have to make the decision that they've got to lay off that left side.
Look at this long slide for Gordon. And that's Kurt Busch tangled up with him and Jimmy Johnson. And that car still hasn't lost much of its momentum as it goes side over side and comes to rest.
Michael
on
made
its roof.
A really good point, though, Mike. These cars are so much bigger than the cars were 5 years ago with the safety innovations that.
Mike Wallace to the garage. Robbie Gordon, Kyle Busch coming on track.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Casey Kane around and through the grass.
Yep.
And he's going to keep it off the wall. He has really put some damage to the left front of that car.
Sure did, and that's a product of these things starting to they get snappy. They just start
going backwards on pit road, coming at you guys.
The back end starts bouncing, waltzing around, and you can't save it.
Now it was the right and left front that dug into the grass and did all that damage, I believe.
Now that.
All right, let's show you where this got started. Okay, right there. Sorry, a little telestrator help. There we go.
See Juan, he gets up behind Casey right here. Casey's moving around just a little wee bit on Juan's front bumper, and that's all it took.
You know, it had a lot of the same look as what happened to Brad Keselowski in that first session.
They're all going to look like that. When you get up under somebody with the way these cars are and move around a little bit, you're going to spin them out. This is just two car. Watch his car. He wobbles just a little bit, makes a couple little moves there. Round he goes.
He's not going to be quite as lucky. You can see the minute he started hitting that grass, not quite as lucky as Brad Keselowski.
That's a backup.
Because underneath that front splitter, underneath the front valence, that splitter is still there. And when it takes a bounce and gets to the grass, little bounce there, boom.
Kind of reminds
right
me
in.
of Carl Edwards after the All-Star race at Charlotte last year. Looked exactly like what he did to his car. Dug into the grass and just ripped the nose right off of it. That's pretty serious damage.
Yeah, I'm like you, DW. I think you'll probably see those boys unload a backup car.
What they'll do is they'll fix this thing, but only in case they have to have it in an emergency.
There goes spin behind you. Just roll out of it here. Roll out of it. Caution's out. You're clear all around. You're clear.
Oh, the orange cone took a hit. He'll have to tweet about that.
Oh, the orange cone will not be happy. I tweeted at the, what are those things they use over in Australia? Bollards?
The bollards.
Bollards.
Yeah. Suddenly shot to the outside wall and took three more with it. That's Paul Menard on the right, Montoya in the middle, and that's David Gilliland to the left. There was one other car involved, but one car, I believe Montoya's, took a huge hit to the outside wall.
Yeah, something happened. The car just shot up the banking. Let's see if we can get a look at it.
Left lane to the inside, Gilliland.
Oh, he's loose. He's already sideways getting in, and he just comes right back up the hill.
Looked like Michael McDowell got David Gilliland in that left rear quarter panel, turning off in the corner. You were talking about that.
Yep.
Now, all three of these cars are in the race. You're going to look way to the right side of the screen.
Man, it came back up that hill in a hurry.
Yeah, Montoya in the 42, Menard in the 27, just victims, nowhere to go.
And the fourth car involved is Brad Keselowski in the 2, who has come to pit road for repairs. Here's another look. Trevor Bayne got a little damage, not much.
McDowell was real lucky he didn't get involved in that 98 car.
Danica Patrick scoots past. And all three of these drivers have climbed from their cars okay.
Wow. The two cars on pit road as well. He had some damage, got some right side damage.
Gosh.
Easy. Slow down. You can go low. Clear all the way low to the apron. Get down to the apron. Let's go. Get through there. Good job.
Our Fox and Speed Exmo, extreme slow motion of what was Juan Pablo Montoya's car.
Look at that. I mean, just look at all the parts and pieces. The engine is moving. The radiator is falling out. Those bars that are all welded to the frame coming off. That thing is just it's just coming apart.
And Bayne.
Oh, Michael spun on the back.
And
Michael crashed down the back. Oh my gosh, what happened?
The caution is out.
With 8 laps to go.
That's a huge break for all of these drivers that needed fuel, a huge break for Denny Hamlin and Marcus Ambrose especially.
You know, I wonder if Michael cut a tire down or something after coming out of the pits.
He only took on fuel. He didn't change tires.
Yeah, he didn't change tires, or he picked up debris or something. Let's see if we can figure out what happened here. He's down on the apron.
Keep digging there. Packed just out the end of pit road.
Oh. When he came up on the racetrack, the thing just jumped around with him.
Darrell, did it look like maybe, again, we know he's desperate. He's trying to get back up to speed. Did he jump up on the apron too quick?
Well, I don't know about too quick, but that transition from the brakes.
Yeah, watch the run these drivers get that are lined up. Here comes Dale Earnhardt Jr. right there in the 88. Watch Bernie.
Here we go. Here we go.
And she's all right after a hard crash, and the caution flag is out.
The race is over. That's Tony Stewart will win the race. God, we got that camera in there with Danica and see she's fine.
Way up the high side. Where is the contact?
Somebody's going to come down into her, I think.
Almirola.
Yeah, right there. He got on the bumper of it. Looked like McMurray's car, the one. Turned him a little bit to the left. Thank God for safer barriers.
That was a hard lick. It's almost that car didn't even look like it slowed down as it was going across there.
I'm so glad that all these racetracks have put safer barriers where we never had them before, and here's a perfect example of why we need them everywhere.
So Danica Patrick is okay after this.
Bottom. There you go. Keep digging. 3 wide.
Goodness gracious.
Let's go on board.
Bottom. There you go. Keep digging. 3 wide.
Is that not? Did you see what she did with her hands?
Yeah, all that open wheel experience.
IndyCar, all that open wheel experience. She knew not to hold on to that steering wheel. That is amazing. I saw her do that here in the ARCA race a couple years ago.
I mean, if you hold on to the wheel there, you can break a wrist easily.
Yeah, but
when that wheel wrenches your hands.
Do you just have any idea when you're headed for that wall that fast that you got to
go 3 wide? They're used to run around 2 side by side. When you got to go 3, look at all moving around. Oh, and there
right
goes.
there.
Bottom.
Paulie Haraka got sideways and took Jason Leffler right with him.
Dakota Armstrong, the 98 trucks into the outside wall. A lot of trucks coming down pit road to avoid that incident.
Dakota just had minor damage there.
Yep, coming out of turn number 4, Jason Leffler caught up in it in the 18. But coming out of turn number 4, a little bit loose. Early on, we saw it was the 5 of Paulie Haraka. There's the damage to that race truck.
Anytime something's different, Rick, something happens that messes up your rhythm, then you run the risk of having this happen. That's exactly what the slower truck didn't do anything wrong. He was getting up to speed right on the bottom. These guys came upon him, had to start making some evasive moves, and when you exit forward, that's not the place to be making an evasive move.
See Chris Cockerman in the 93. You see Brennan able to get by. Justin Lofton able to get by. Watch Paulie Haraka. He gets a little bit loose there, even before he got to that truck.
Yeah, it looked like he maybe went up the hill because of the slower truck and then went to go back down a little bit because he didn't want to crowd Leffler, and that got him sideways. These things turn around so quickly. Paulie's not used to this stuff. He's used to racing on short tracks. This is all new to him, and that thing just hopped around on him. And unfortunately, took a guy that I thought might could have won the race tonight, and Jason Leffler with him.
Jason looked awfully good in practice yesterday. Did a lot of pushing around. Here's another view. See Paulie get sideways. He makes contact with that lap truck on the inside and then forces Jason Leffler into the outside wall. Watch these trucks do such a great job of avoiding. There's Austin Dillon also going down pit road to avoid this incident.
And Dakota Armstrong was all over the place. He just barely bumped the wall. I think he's going to be just fine.
Austin Dillon was watching his brother Ty Dillon fly down pit road.
I knew I was going to make that mistake.
Watch this move. And look at Jason Leffler. Sometimes wrecks are just unavoidable. And that was okay. Watch this 98 truck of Dakota Armstrong. He's sideways. Okay, I'm going the right way again.
And
oh, there's the wall.
The wall there just before the start-finish line.
That won't hurt him, though. That truck will be fine.
Coming out of turn 4, here's the incident.
Just take a look at this incident from Ty's truck. Watch him now. He's going to see the smoke and everything in front of him. The spotter's going to tell him off the throttle instantly. And he sees the racetrack blocked. He's got a perfectly wide pit road to go down.
It's a good feeling when you look up ahead and there's pit road there. Watch Johnny Sauter. Let's see where he goes. You could see his teammate Dakota Armstrong.
Come on down pit road, reduce your speed, you're clear of the accident.
There to do so.
How about Brennan going through the middle there? And
oh, sideways. Got to crash in the front.
33 of Cale Gale into the wall. It looks as though he collected the 8 of Mike Skinner as well. Damage to both of those trucks.
Big damage.
Also involved, the 07 of TJ Duke. He slides in front of another truck, gets caught up.
Talked about how hard it is sometimes to get through that tri-oval, and that's exactly what happened there. Those guys somehow got sideways.
Those teammates, Cale Gale and Mike Skinner, we were just talking about Eddie Sharp Racing.
That's his worst nightmare, isn't it, Phil?
Sure is.
Matt Crafton down on the apron. From that side didn't look bad.
Well, from that side it does.
Yeah, a lot of damage to TJ Duke's truck.
Mike Skinner. Look at the front of that race truck.
Yeah.
Mike talked about how the community here in Daytona rallied around him, gave him the opportunity, he and Angie the opportunity to run this race, and to have it all taken away in a crash when he ran so strong all night long.
See if we can take a look at what happens here.
Oh, Enfinger moves up a little bit. Is that right?
Looked like was that Enfinger or was that Clay Greenfield? And the other red truck, number 68.
One of the red truck moved up, and Cale Gale was there. It bounced Cale sideways. Got some trucks coming to pit roads.
Take another look. Real time as they're coming into the tri-oval. It's the 7.
It's the 7 of John King. Another one of the red trucks that moved up the racetrack into Cale Gale.
Look at Matt Crafton sliding sideways. Trucks crashing behind him. Three wide is tough in the tri-oval, even when people don't move around, Phil, and that was an example of it. The 7 truck came up. Matt Crafton run over the orange cone.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he has any damage. I think the orange cone is the only thing he ran into.
Sorry about that orange cone.
That was Clay Greenfield right behind that 7 truck of John King. Tough break for Eddie Sharp Racing, losing 2 of his 3 trucks.
Look at that. He just moved way up.
Low. Hold your line. Come on through here.
Nothing Cale Gale could have done there. There's no way for him to predict. Look, they're 3 wide anyway, and watch. That 7 truck comes right up.
Do you think he was maybe trying to get to the middle? I don't know why he would. He was doing a great job staying on the bottom.
But side by side, coming out of turn number 2, around goes the 32 and hard into the wall. Miguel Paludo hard into the wall coming out of turn number 4.
Very reminiscent of Danica's accident in the duel.
Caution comes out for the 5th time. Miguel Paludo running in the top 3. Slides coming out of turn number 4, and then a head-in collision with the inside wall, and what a great sign to see that window net go down, as the safety crew will get to him immediately.
Wonder if he got a little bit of nudge from behind from his teammate James Busher. Everyone was trying so hard on the inside to keep that outside line from coming. Let's see if we see any contact here.
He's the 2nd car on the second truck on the inside line.
Wow, maybe he let off the. Maybe he made an evasive action there because of PK Jr.
Wow,
what an
impact.
How violent that was.
That truck weighs 3,700 pounds, and it flies up in the air like that and catches on fire, and yet.
And we saw how quickly Miguel Paludo had put the window net down, was taking his helmet off. Amazing.
I think he got in the back of Nelson Piquet Jr. and when he did, that slowed his momentum, and that's, I think, James Busher got into him. Watch this now.
Look.
It's hard to see. You can see right there.
You could see Piquet get a little bit sideways. That's real-time speed right there.
But I don't know if those trucks make high. I know Piquet got sideways, and then all of a sudden Paludo gets sideways, and these trucks handle well enough. It's hard to understand how this could have happened.
Watch how close now Paludo gets to Piquet.
I think he just made I think the leader just got loose, and Paludo just made an evasive, a bit of a quick move, and he lost his truck maybe.
I think there was contact. Let's see.
Riding along with Ron Hornaday now.
Watch the leader get sideways.
You're right. I don't think there was any contact from front or behind.
And I think Miguel just said, oh, no, where's he going? And you remember earlier when Paulie Haraka, right there off turn 4, where the track flattens out, you're going very fast there. The banking goes away, and the trucks are light there. The back end is light. He makes a move because he sees his teammate a little bit sideways, and into the inside wall he goes.
That truck spins 360 degrees in the air before coming back.
Hornaday and the 2 of Brendan Gaughan hooked up now.
Oh, sliding. The 29 is going to go around as well as the 81. David Starr goes to the inside.
Hold the brake, hold the brake, hold the brake, hold the brake.
We saw Parker Kligerman in the
damage, not too bad.
29 sliding early in this one. The caution will come out once again, the 6th time tonight. Also involved Ross Chastain in the 08, as well as Brian Silas in that 99.
I just didn't see how we could get to the end without having something like this happen.
There was no way. Now what do we do at the front? Jason White's leading. His pusher is going to be on the outside. I think Johnny Sauter is now in trouble. I think John King closes right back up to the back of Jason White, and John King is good enough to push Jason. I think Johnny's in trouble.
Parker Kligerman, left front damage on that 29. The 81 of David Starr also went around. He's going to have some damage.
If our scoring monitor is correct, Johnny Sauter's going to have Ron Hornaday behind him. He knows how to push. He pushed for the entire race at Talladega last October.
When the caution came out, we had 6 laps of racing to go.
Looked like Dusty Davis came down to the middle. Parker Kligerman in the 29 had committed to the middle, and then Dusty Davis moved down the hill.
Look at the job Ty Dillon does, barely squeaking by Brian Silas.
Rick Crawford back there as well in the 73, sneaking through that incident. Here, watch the 3 of Ty Dillon in the middle.
I don't think Parker Kligerman had any idea Dusty Davis was going to make that move. And watch Ty Dillon, barely misses Kligerman, barely misses Silas.
An incredible job.
How close was it for Ty Dillon? Let's ride along and see.
Trying to build, clear high, clear high. Bottom lane, middle lane's rolling here. 4 wide ahead of you. Be easy, be easy.
1,
check up, check up, check up.
2.
Come on, watch out. Get down, get down, get down, get down. Check up, check up. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
We missed 3 trucks there, Phil.
Yeah, it sounded like Billy O'Day, Kevin Harvick's spot for Ty.
He sounded like an auctioneer there for a while. Check up, check up, check up. Low, low, low.
But we heard that Kevin Hamlin was spotting one of RCR's
place to be.
How about Rick Crawford going up through the middle?
They're not going to make it.
Contact and into the wall. The 19 goes around. That's Brad Keselowski. Flying through the trial, but once again, as the caution comes out, they did not receive the white flag. We will have another green-white checker.
Who was running second? Who was running third?
Johnny Sauter was leading when the caution came out. Ron Hornaday actually beat him to the line, but Johnny Sauter was running ahead of Ron Hornaday when the caution came out.
The question is, who was second? Who was third? How are they going to line up on this restart? And NASCAR will use cameras to figure out where to put them. They'll use the scoring loops. So right now we don't really know what the lineup is for the restart.
Right now they're going to use the scoring loops to reset them. They do use the cameras on the very last lap to determine positions after the race is won. They're going to use those loops. Look at all the damage to Rick Crawford. He was making that move up to the front. We also saw a lot of damage to the 24 of Max Gresham.
Yeah, the 19 of Brad Keselowski. That's the first truck I saw sideways, was a 19 of Brad Keselowski. You see, Brad, there's a 19 there. He's pushing the 31 of Buscher. There's Clay Greenfield.
Clay Greenfield just turns him around.
Gets him into this left rear quarter panel, turns him right in front of Rick Crawford. Then they catch Max Gresham up against the outside wall.
Guys, now fuel is going to become a real concern if these guys were about to run out a minute ago.
Ty Dillon does an excellent job. Again, watch Ty Dillon.
Clear to the middle behind the 73. Outside now, bottom of 3. Bottom of 3. Hold on, you got crash in front of you. Check up, check up, check up.
Got in the back of Ryan Siegel a little bit.
Come on, stay back.
But kept that truck straight. That's the important thing.
Could be some real damage to the grill of that truck, though. Looks like it's all right, Phil, as he drives off.
Yeah.
That time, Phil. He's falling all the way back outside the top 10.
Oh, and around goes Johnny Sauter. John King got in the back of him, and Sauter goes into the wall. He'll collect his teammate, Matt Crafton, as they come to the start-finish line. We will have another restart. They did not receive the white flag before Sauter got around and into the wall.
Depends on when the white flag got thrown.
Displayed. We see hard damage on the 81 of David Starr.
John King.
Brendan Gaughan's South Point Chevrolet with a tremendous amount of damage.
John King, Todd Bodine, Timothy Peters, Joey Coulter, Justin Lofton. They're your top 5. Look at your race leader. Obviously frustrated, had a chance to win here at Daytona.
I talked about,
you said it, he doesn't do this a lot, hasn't been here before.
We talked about when he was going to push Jason White. You know, you got to be worried about John King.
Yellow did come out before the white. Look at the damage to the 82. That's Grant Enfinger. He has smoke coming out from under that truck. Take another look.
Will NASCAR do anything with John King?
Was Todd Bodine pushing John King and push him into Johnny Sauter?
Was Johnny Sauter moving up to try to block John King? Who knows what all happened there?
Look at all the trucks that got collected.
It looked like John King was going to the outside of Johnny. No, he just got a hold of his back end from the wrong angle.
Yeah.
And turned him sideways. Todd had rooted his way down to the bottom of the racetrack, and there's 2 Thor Sport trucks clobbering each other. The last thing a owner wants to see is his trucks running into each other.
A lot of damage, a lot of parked trucks right at the exit of the tri-oval. NASCAR is going to red flag the race. That means they're going to take the time, stop all of the trucks just out of turn number 4 and clean this up. A lot of trucks involved in this most recent incident.
And how about Todd Bodine emerges with the lead?
And look who slipped through another one. Ty Dillon. He makes another great move down on the bottom of the racetrack to miss all that mess.
Attrition becoming a big factor in the possibility of winning this race.
He just made a mistake from the back side of Johnny Sauter and turned him around. Inexperience, just
turned us.
Take a look at our flag person up here. The white flag and then the yellow came out. They did not come to the start-finish line to receive the white flag. The yellow came out before.
That's some pretty fancy flagging there.
Yes, it was.
Had the white one going, but had to get the yellow one out instead.
I'm not sure. There might have been a little bit of contact from behind from the 11 of Todd Bodine into John King.
Yeah, I think you're right, Phil. It looked as though Todd Bodine maybe gave John King a little shove. He then moved up and really didn't know what to do. I'm sure that was a situation where, do I hit the 13? Do I try to save this truck? And it happened so quickly.
John King was out to the right side of John.
Stay on the yellow line. They're trying to make something happen up top here. Stay on the yellow line.
Jason White, and around they go. That will bring the caution out as Joey Coulter goes flying into the catch fence just past the start-finish line, and that will mean John King will win at Daytona. The caution came out just as the pack made it past the start-finish line.
Maybe the least experienced driver we had in the field.
John, pass them. John, pass them. Slowly, gently pass them. Pass them, pass them, pass them.
And this is how it happened as far as the caution coming out. Look back in the middle there, the 22 of Joey Coulter.
A little bit of contact with the 31 of James Busher. Gets up into the catch fence, and man, does that catch fence do its job.
And of course, Ty Dillon slipped right through again. See Ty there in the truck with the bright neon orange, just slips right through. I'm just glad Coulter's okay. That was wild looking. See the way it ripped that back of that truck apart?
Well, it sure did. And the front.
James Busher in the 31 got into the back of that 22.
Watch this.
Well, look at that ride, will you? Is that Hornaday going underneath Joey Coulter?
Hornaday underneath the 22 of Joey Coulter.
Watch this from Ron Hornaday's onboard.
Okay, we got one ahead. I don't know.
Right underneath him. Right underneath him.
Underneath. How about Todd Bodine's view?
Did Ron Hornaday get in the back of James Busher and turn him sideways into the 22 of Joey Coulter?
Definitely somebody turned. Watch the 31 get turned.
29's with you now. White flag, middle
pileup 3, crashing ahead of you, stay down, get down, come on, Chili's upside down.
I don't know if tandem draft and the single draft.
Danica sideways.
Oh no, into the wall. Caution's out.
I was talking about the trioval being a very loose part of the racetrack. Entering turns 1 and 3 too is where your car gets light. You just can't be bumping in these corners.
Second caution of the race. Not the season opener that Danica was hoping for. Trouble in turn number 3 and a wild ride for the driver of car 7. Some pretty heavy damage that'll take. That was Scott and some of that contact
on the back stretch.
4.
Mike Bliss.
Oh man, Mike had such a good run going here. It's a lot of damage to that car.
Caution is out, third one of the race at the midway point. Mike Bliss led 6 laps earlier in this race. Was running 27th at the time. And now he sits in the infield and begins to climb out of that battered Toyota. So, when you crash on the straightaway, that's usually an indication that something went wrong.
Yeah, he had to get out of the throttle. You saw they were catching somebody really quick right there. As soon as he backed off the throttle, he got hit.
Race, Brian Scott in the Joe Gibbs Racing 11. Not looking as pretty as it was earlier.
Another victim of a little bit of contact through the trio.
Highlight reel of this one's going to be bump drafting gone bad. Michael Annett in the 43, James Busher in the 30, the black car to that side.
Yeah, I think Brian Scott pulled down thinking that Michael Annett would help push him by that car. They had a nice little run going there, but Annett hooked him in the right rear and turned him straight into the wall. Actually turned into James Busher before he got to the wall.
Yeah, but James Busher got a pretty good lick there. Probably have to have some damage repaired.
And more.
It's a chain reaction that started way up front. So there's Denny Hamlin. See Kurt Busch going up through the middle with Kyle, and then all of them start getting together right at the front of the field.
You can see that started, looked like with Trevor Bayne getting separated, got a little bit loose behind the 6.
You see somebody drives right underneath of Allgaier.
Yeah, that's the 52, Reed Sorensen, that was underneath.
He was completely underneath.
See Johanna Long getting a piece of that, not a lot of contact, but she has some damage to the left front. I believe it starts right here. Watch Trevor Bayne. May have to jump out of the throttle and get sideways here. A lot of times, June, you have to jump out to keep them running over that car in front of you. Your car will just jump for about a half a lane.
I'm telling you, Reed Sorensen was completely underneath Justin Allgaier's car.
With Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Oh, he got a good view.
Check that right front fender on his car. Got a little contact there.
Clear to the bottom. Clear to the bottom. Wrecking in front of you. Stay low. Stay low. Stay low. Keep. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, wrecking behind you. Come on. Got him.
Wow. I cannot imagine that was a fun view for Reed Sorensen.
Destroyed too. You see David Reagan, his car's destroyed. Hornish got some damage.
Yeah, that's not to say that. Of course, David Reagan was getting a big push from behind there, but you know Hornish was up there, and like David Reagan tried to stick his nose in there and maybe take the spot away. Just product of late racing and pack racing here at Daytona.
One back.
Yeah, you can see right
and they're inside. You're in the middle, 3 wide.
Like Reagan tried to force it.
Well, come in there if you can. Come in there. We got damage there, Bruce.
I'm curious from your perspective as a driver, Dale, when you're in the draft, Trevor Bain's pushing David Reagan.
Yeah, you got to go somewhere. That's what I said. Yeah, he didn't have much choice there. Hornish left that open a little bit by being a little bit too high there maybe. But David Reagan was getting pushed, and just nothing you can do. You have to steer your car where it's going.
And I guess my point was, even if Reagan had lifted off the gas, he was still being pushed.
Yeah, you can see right here, riding with Trevor Bain. He's connected to the rear bumper of Reagan.
Front, easy. Check up. Keep coming. You're all good. They're crashing behind. Keep coming through here.
Game of inches. Half a lap to go. Here comes Stewart in the 33 as Logano goes to the point. 3 wide in turn 4. A squeeze to the outside wall. Trouble in the corner. Hard, vicious crash. Who gets through to win the race? Caution flag has just been called. The race leader is James Busher in the 30 car. Unbelievable. A heavy crash in the final corner of the race. Kyle Busch's car. Trevor Bain. Ricky Stenhouse.
It looked like Stewart tried to force it on the outside. Not quite enough room to make it happen.
Well, he had the room. I think that maybe Joey Logano moved up to try to block that progress.
In 4, coming to the checkered flag.
I really believe Logano pulls up in front to block Tony Stewart here. Let's see if that is what happened, or if it's Trevor Bain. Now there's Logano. See, yeah, Kurt Busch was actually blocking and moved them up. Hard hit by Kyle Busch, head on into the wall.
And here comes Busher through the bottom.
Yeah, I think maybe Brad Keselowski's going to finish second and Elliott Sadler third.
Yeah, it looks like Kurt Busch did crowd Joey Logano. That kind of started the whole chain of events.
I've got him 11th in that corner.
Yep. Yeah,
Looking
and
at that
he
picture.
really didn't even come close to getting involved. He did a great job of missing all of that. See, Elliott Sadler, there's Austin Dillon going, actually, looks like maybe way down. I don't know if he ended up down pit road, but you can cross the finish line that way too.
Kenseth and Carl Edwards, 3 Fords. Trouble already. The wall. Slams to the outside. It's 5-time champion Jimmy Johnson. He collects Danica Patrick and the 34 of David Reagan.
Trevor Bain, the 21 car, winner from last year. You see him involved.
Kurt Busch is involved.
I'm a little worried about Jimmy. He took a hard lick right in the door. And there's the HenryCar.com Chevrolet of Kurt Busch. He's got damage.
1 lap and 600 feet, and it's calamity. All right, let's keep an eye on Jimmie Johnson. He's right tucked up underneath the 78 of Regan Smith.
Ooh, just got a little tap in the back end.
I believe that might have been Elliott Sadler at 33.
Elliott Sadler gave him just a little tap. Right here's what I was talking about. Watch Danica. Right there, she gets some damage, but then watch her go down. Jimmy's car's total, but watch her right here, right between those two cars.
First caution of the night, lap 2. Here's another look. Look at that outside lane and the blue car that's second in line.
You see, Jimmy just gets a little bit loose, and when he corrects, it just overcorrects, and into the fence it goes. And then he gets a really hard lick right here. That's the one that really worried me. He got that right in the driver's door.
Darrell, what was one of our Goodyear keys? Don't push me in the left rear. This tri-oval can be pretty treacherous.
Now from the blimp, watch for the green car as Danica Patrick comes into frame from the top of your screen.
You see right here,
right there.
Jimmy's getting ready to get a hard lick, but here's Danica right here. She gets some damage off of Jimmie Johnson's car there, but I do not. This is the wildest thing I've ever seen. Watch this car go right, but these two cars, these guys are all wrecking, and she goes right in between them.
A big chain reaction crash as Johnson's car just clogs the racetrack. And the 34, David Reagan, had car to the outside, car to the inside, nowhere to go. We'll ride with Danica Patrick.
He was just looking. Inside 2 wide. Oh, slow. Check up. Go low.
And now with Jimmie Johnson.
Inside only.
All the drivers involved have either climbed out of their cars or driven back to the pits. They're okay, but what a hard hit.
These guys, I've seen a lot of wrecks in stock cars in NASCAR, but these guys have all taken a lesson from Danica Patrick. They have seen what she does when she's been in some hard wrecks, and they've taken their hand.
That they've been fast all week, and this is Roush Fenway's 25th year.
Back straight away. One car around sideways. It's Ryan Newman. Tony Stewart's teammate has brought out the second caution flag of the night on lap 12.
And I haven't even seen the replay, but I bet somebody bumped him in the left rear.
Newman's a past winner of the 500.
Here he is. No, nobody bumped him. He looks like he just lost it. Maybe had a tire issue. I think he's got a tire down, Larry. The way that thing's sparking and everything, he's got a tire down.
A single car spin puts us under the second caution flag of the night, and the sparks fly.
Yeah. And you can see the right rear tire.
These cars on the outside, that drafting tandem that worked so well before. Truex and around goes the bunny off the bumper of Marcus Ambrose, and caution is out.
He's going to save it.
Barely got him right in that left rear corner that we've been talking about.
And the rains that have plagued Daytona Beach for the last few days have captured the Frank Stoddard car driven by Terry Labonte. His Ford can't get out of the mud.
You can see Marcus Ambrose right down there on the bumper of Terry Labonte, number 32, gets down on that left side, and
Fortunately, that runoff area is paved, and Labonte, look at the car control as he tries to keep that thing away from the wall and ends up in the grass.
There's a number of things that have been done to these cars that have really helped them. That big fin on the across the deck lid, that really helps. Certainly this paved, all this area being paved now, that's very helpful, saves the car and the driver.
3 laps to go in Daytona. David Stremme from South Bend, Indiana, and the little team that could make the 500. Something under the hood breaks. He slides up the racetrack.
Where was he going?
And that team totals 8 people and 3 shop dogs. They made the Daytona 500, and Casey Mears led him off pit road. We're under caution for David Stremme. It's the 7th caution flag tonight. All that happened on lap 2. And now under caution, Juan Pablo Montoya has crashed and gone aflame.
Holy cow, what happened?
We just got a report that he was complaining about a bad vibration in every gear.
No, Larry, he just slammed
into the jet dryer.
I think he slammed into the jet dryer.
They're trying to clear debris off the racetrack, and the car brakes, won't steer, and he slides up the track and into the back of that surplus helicopter jet engine on a trailer used to dry the racetrack.
Mike, I saw sparks coming out from the car as if it had a tire down or something. What an incredible turn of events. I've never in my life. Oh my gosh.
And all that spilled jet fuel found something hot to ignite it. Safety workers quickly on the scene. And this is a bizarre twist to this Daytona 500. Down in turn number 3.
Line right there, and he did. He got in front of his team. Oh, there's a car off in the grass. More cars off in the grass.
3 cars sliding. Marcus Ambrose is 1.
It's Casey Mears, the 13 that they just had lapped.
Caution.
Those lap cars are so hard to get around when you're coming up on them 20 mile an hour faster than the lap cars going.
And there's Mears, and Ambrose gets away after that big spin. Are the 43 of Eric Almirola as this gets started.
Just gets real tight heading off in the corner down here. Again, Casey is getting lapped.
Stenhouse got into Almirola across the front of Mears and then Ambrose.
Well, Almirola just about.
I'm telling you.
He just barely slid through there after that happened.
I think the 9 car, Marcus Ambrose, he's got quite a bit of body damage. I don't know if it's going to be bad enough to take him out of contention or not. Look at Almirola right there. Whoopee. Nice save.
Watch this right here, though. Wow.
Well, in 2 of those cars, the 9 and 43 are teammates at Richard Petty Motorsports, Ambrose and Almirola. But Ricky Stenhouse was trying to move from the outside to the middle, and that hole just wasn't open.
Boy, you just don't get down on the apron very often in the trial and get it straightened up and keep on going.
So the caution waves with 22 laps to go. There's Stenhouse in the number 6. There's the first contact with the 43.
I think the 13 was just forcing the 43. He had nowhere to go, and the 6 was on the outside there, and they did make contact.
Clint Boyer gets the free pass. Watch Ricky Stenhouse.
It is more like the 43 seemed to me like may have gone up a little bit as much as the Stenhouse tried to come down. I think it was just getting tight right there as they went by the slow car of Mears.
Darrell, we talked about it earlier in the show, the tri-oval here. It is one of the most treacherous places of this racetrack.
Well, you're running the same speed through the tri-oval that you are in the, through the turns. You're running 200 mile an hour through here, and you don't have but 18 degrees of banking. So the car gets really light and gets really loose as you come through here.
Go.
Oh, trouble, big trouble, big trouble.
Mid-pack. sliding and spinning into the infield, McMurray. And sliding up the racetrack, one car going to coast to the bottom. That's Eric Almirola. Regan Smith was in it, and Casey Kane. The left side of his car torn up, and we're back under caution for
Regan
the ninth
Smith.
time at lap 188.
Almirola, the one car there, McMurray's the one I saw. Man, he was spinning around like a top.
Carl Edwards has damage to the right front, our pole sitter.
It's about mid-pack. You see McMurray right back here. He's the first guy I saw go around in the. Got a little wobble.
I believe he blew a left rear tire. That thing started wiggling around, and as he came into the tri-oval, it spun out, and when it came to a stop, you can see the left rear tire is completely torn apart. So I think he had a cut tire, and the thing just got away from him.
Yeah, he was wobbling through the tri-oval there, and finally went around with him.
Another driver involved, Brad Keselowski, right there.
Wonder if Brad twittered that.
Right
Probably
there is McMurray.
Yeah, Keselowski and the 2 just drove underneath Casey Kane in the 5. Just nowhere to go.
Watch Tony Stewart there. He just worked his way right back. Keselowski missed that wreck by inches.
Boy, Almirola came up the track right in front of Dave Blaney, who missed him. Watch that orange and black number 1.
Yeah,
right side of your screen.
Right here. He starts wobbling right here, and then the car starts goes around in. It looked like a top. I saw that orange car just spin around, and look at Tony Stewart right there getting right through that mess.
Well, Stewart did get some damage in the first part of that crash,
yes,
though, Darrell.
He did. Yes, he did.
And from Casey Kane.
Whoa, Keselowski almost went over.
We got let's see, where are we at?
And we'll ride with Regan Smith in the furniture
3 wide,
car.
43 still outside, right there, you see it.
I don't think he can see anything.
Carl Edwards, our pole sitter.
He almost made it through. Got some damage right there near the end of it.
Casey Kane.
Darrell, he did the same thing with his hands that Jimmy Johnson did in that wreck on lap 1.
We've had in-car cameras in these cars for years, and up until recently have I seen drivers let go of the wheel and tuck their hands away out of the harm's way like that. They've learned a lot about this over the last year or two.
Keep in mind, Casey Kane is a longtime open wheeler, owns a sprint car team, and a defensive posture, a learned response when something like that happens. And with our new dual path onboard cameras, we can give you 2 views from the in-car. Team Tony Stewart.
And there's Tony Stewart's teammate Ryan Newman. Oh, Tony's going around, another wreck through the tri-oval.
Kyle Busch, hard slide through the grass, no contact. At least half a dozen cars involved in this one. Dave Blaney drives away. That's Kyle Busch. Caution flag number 10 with 4 laps to go. Landon Castle, or excuse me, David Rudiman.
You know, Tony got around, but I don't know if he got a lot of damage or not. I see a lot of body damage and tires that got the side rubbed off them, but the car didn't look that bad once he got it straightened out.
Oh.
Let's see what happened. There's Tony is right back here, and I see him all of a sudden. He gets a little push from behind, maybe from Joey Logano.
He and Stenhouse go around. Newman and Busch.
And Newman and Busch was actually in front of Tony a little bit when that started happening.
Have to take a couple more looks at that.
Kyle Busch went for a long, wild ride. Blaney involved.
Let's see here. Here's 39 up here. Right there. Stenhouse got into the side, and Stenhouse in the 6 got into Tony.
I'm not sure, though, that David Gilliland didn't get into the back of Stenhouse and push him up into Tony.
Could have to look at it again.
That's about the second or third wreck we've seen on the exit of the tri-oval. It just starts narrowing up right there.
Cars are really free and loose right through the tri-oval. I'm telling you, you're running 200 mile an hour through there. It's hard to hang on sometime.
You saw there where Kyle Busch in the 18 jumped down in front of Ricky Stenhouse in the 6.
I know Stenhouse hit Tony. I'm not sure if he got forced into him. Here's smoke right out here.
All right, and there's Stenhouse with Gilliland behind him.
No, you know what? The 20 car and the 6 car make a little contact.
You're right.
And I'm not sure that didn't move the 6 car up, Stenhouse up just enough that he got into the left rear of Tony Stewart.
So let's regroup here. Joey Logano and Ricky Stenhouse make contact. Stenhouse moves up into Tony Stewart.
Watch him coming inside here. There you go. Outside, stay down. Lock it down, get it rolling here if you can. Keep coming across at you. Get it rolling here if you can. Leaders are in 2.
I believe the 20 car judged the 6, and then you put him into the side of Tony. That's what it looked to me like may have happened.